This conference will now be recorded.
What we had left yesterday. Today's focus would be on creation of service request and creation of service code, and from service code to service order. We'll try to do one flow to see how it works.
Hi Srini, this is Usha. Good evening. How are you?
Hi Usha, doing good. How are you?
Hey, doing good. Yesterday I was a little late joining. So my question is did you show how to configure service request and service quotation, or you were
No,
just using the
we
standard?
are just doing transactional flow. There is no config.
Okay.
I did not
Okay.
touch on the config. Today I will be touching on the config
Okay.
for
Thank you.
service code. Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, let me share my screen. Let me know once you're able to see it. I hope it's visible, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So today we will see how to configure your service quotation. First of all, for that I will need to show you what's the app which is being used. So there is the standard app, Fury app, search service order quotation. So in this app, you can search your quotation which you have created, as well as you can create a new quotation. So I'll create one new quotation. So I know yesterday we were trying to do with SRVQ. Today also we'll try to do it. I know there is some issue with the recode button. So I'll see how we can solve that issue. So we'll create one quick data and then we'll look into the config. So I'll use my standard data for Solto body. I'll use this standard data for my sales and service org. I know that this needs to be resolved. I'll try to show you how we can resolve this issue, because this employee responsible, as I was saying I think yesterday, that this is an HR mini master data. So using PA30, we would need to create our own data. Maybe in the upcoming classes, I'll show you how to resolve this issue. But for now, I'll choose the standard data which is already available in the system. So yesterday, I hope you remember, while showing this screen, I explained how this is derived, basically the backend config for this one. I hope that part was clear, right? If you remember this path which I was showing yesterday,
So you're talking
for
about partner determination
yes,
procedures.
partner determination, yes. So in the basic function for the partner processing, we went through each tabs, right? And how to map your determination to your procedure in your service order. And once your determination is created, then you need to add this at your service document level, which is at this place. So we generally add a determination profile at this place. Unfortunately, it is not working right now, but this is the place where we add. I hope you are able to recollect. If not, then I'll repeat myself again for this one. Okay, so I'll assume this you are aware. If not, let me know. We'll touch base on that again. So for now, I'll use a standard product SM underscore prod 01. So this data, whatever I'm entering, is part of the best practice activation. So by default, you would have this data into your system. Maybe some mapping needs to be done. For example, you may need to add sales view to this document, or maybe add an item category to this, or not the item category, but the item category group. So those activities would be needed to be done. But by large and default, you would have this data ready, basically, as part of your standard data. So now, once you enter your data, which is basically your sold to party and your organization data and your item level data, thus you will have something like this. So for I think last, I'll change this to TG level since I think there was some issue with the item category. So don't worry, this is for SRQS stands for sales item. So what happens is if you create with this ID, basically with this item category, and once your service order is created, you can create a sales order directly from your service order. Will then that flow is there. But for now, I just want you to focus on this part, which is whatever service item we have, we'll putting it at this level. We will be saving this document and we would be sending it to the customer for their approval. So once, let's say, customer reviews your document and he's fine with the details, he may send an offline communication stating that the code is fine by him, and you can click on this button, and this quotation will be set to completed. So that is again visible here because my service order is created, and also at the item level, this would be set to completed. Now, generally, once your item is completed, right? Okay, I hope my voice is audible, right? Or is there any background noise you are hearing? Just let me know. It's fine, right? Okay. So now, if you want to add anything, right, then generally the best way to do is through this recode. So if you select this recode, then this quotation would be copied, and basically a new quotation number would be generated, 637 in this case. Don't worry about this error, this can be resolved. So for this again, sorry. So now let's add a line item. Okay, before I do that, I want to show you that at service order level what that items are so that you don't get confused. Let me just cancel this. So currently we would be having just one item. Now after recode, when I add that item, another line item would be appearing here. So this is just the recap what we were discussing yesterday. Today we'll copy that standard quotation and we'll try to create a Z quotation type and try to create some data with that. So let me add a new item here. Now I'll send this to the customer for their approval. Let's say the customer agrees to whatever we have sent. Again, at the service order level, we will now find two line items, TG11 and TG11. Now, the major difference is you can ask why can't we just go open our old quotation, add a new line item, what would happen? So basically, what would it do is it will create another service order for your same quotation. So basically, then you would have two service orders for the same quotation, which ideally you would not like to have. So because your references would keep on changing. So in practical scenarios, we always have one service order. Multiple quotations are fine, that's okay, but it should always link to one service order. That's how the best way to do it. I mean the best uh, practice kind of thing you can say, which is followed. Coming to the backend config for this one. So our document type is SRVQ, which is a standard document type. So I'll copy this and I'll try to create something. So I had created one ZSR1, I'll create ZSR2. So I'll just save this. Now I have created my own, service order quotation, which is ZSR2. And if I go inside this into my sales tab, so you would find something like this. Okay, let me go do one thing. Let me take you one by one so that you don't get confused. So first of all, add the yeah. So first of all, add your main document type level. You will have something called the description of your service order type, service order quotation type, basically. So what this means is while creating when you go to a Fury app, right, you would find some descriptions. So this description is a general description which would appear there. Now, whether a document should behave a quotation or a service order is controlled by this leading transaction category. So your bus 2000116 means that this document can either be served as a service order or it can be used as a quotation. So basically this controls it. If you have a look, you can see there are different business lead transaction lead type. Each has its own way. For example, this 256 is used for your in-house repair. 117 is used for the service confirmation. So how your document should behave is controlled at this level, which is your leading transaction category. The next field, which is the status object type. So if I just quickly click on F4 to show you the options which are here. So while creating, let's say you don't have a standard, standard document from which you can copy. So in such cases, the mandatory field would be your transaction type, its description, the leading transaction category, and your org data profile. I think these are the three core fields which are mandatory while creation of your document. If a standard document exists, you can copy and create your own. If it doesn't exist, then these three, four fields are mandatory to be filled. Unfortunately, this is not opening. And okay, so the status object type, which is on this field, right? As you can see, there are just four entries, which is knowledge article or order header. Or again, this we generally keep it as empty until unless you have a specific document dedicatedly for that purpose. For example, you want documents specifically to capture your customer complaints. So in such cases, you can have a different status object type as customer complaints, and you can make the document use according to that. The next field is contract determination. So this controls whether you want your contract, which is service contract, to be determined at your quotation level or not. So I click on this F1. So these are the options which are available at your contract determination level. So that C, D, E, F, G, I, K, J. So each contract determination type has its own specific use and values. So this is not configurable. This is by system. Whatever it is, we have to select, and that would accordingly play. For example, if I select C, which is header and item reference object, assign immediately when unique. So what it says is, if you select C, if there is a service contract and it is unique, basically with a combination of your header item and the item reference object, you won't get an option or a pop-up. Automatically, whatever the service contract value is, it will take. If you selected option D, then there will always be a pop-up, and from the pop-up, you have to select what kind of service contract you want to take. Similarly, for E, only at item level and assign always at unique. This also follows the same logic which is there, but at this case, it won't check at the header, it will only look at the item. And for F, same functionality, except it won't look at the header and you will have a pop-up. Option G, you would have to manually enter your service contract details. And similarly for option I, which is only at item level if external system does not determine, which means, let's say if your system is not able to determine, but somehow you have your contract value with you, you can enter it by selecting this option. And same goes for K and J. So we have never used this K and J till now, but ideally what it would do, it would have the same functionality at the item level. So these are the contract determination type. We'll come back to this contract determination while we are discussing more about the service contract. Similarly, let's say you have created one document and you want this transaction to be inactive instead of deleting, then you can set this X for inactive. This Y, blocked for online maintenance, what it would mean is they you can have this document, you can create this, but you cannot generate any maintenance order out of your quotation. So that would mainly come under when we are discussing about advanced order execution, when we are trying to create one maintenance order from your service code. then this checkbox, no change documents, which means whatever change logs which you are doing, you don't want to capture, so you would select this. We can have ATP check, but this is dummy. This doesn't work basically. It may show, show few details coming up at a screen as a pop-up, but it doesn't check any actual thing when we check this box. And this because at your quotation level, right? When you're doing a quotation level, you don't actually deal with your stock values or stock availability. You deal with the stock availability only when you have your order when while executing. This comes into a picture when there is a service order. But again, as such, as of now, there is no direct integration between the ATP, which is there on the GUI side, with the service side. Although these functionalities or basically these fields are placed for future purposes, but it is yet to be fully integrated. This basically would come into more picture when we are doing a when you're dealing with spare parts, basically in automobile industry. If you have for spare parts prediction, which is SPP, so in such cases where we would need to predict whether we have stock or not. So based on that order, if we have this ATP check, then ideally it should go and check whether that particular stock is available, and then it should allow for consumption. So this is just the functionality. Currently, as far as I checked, it doesn't work properly. Similarly, this template type, if you're creating this transaction as a template, then this would come into picture. We'll talk about service template in future classes, but this is where these values are added, and you cannot have your Z. Whatever is there, this BCD is the final option which you have. Similarly, this transaction classification. So this again refers how you want your document to behave. For example, is it a service ticket or it could be a change request? So this again, this you can have it configured according to your. But if you're choosing this service request or service ticket, then your leading category should also be changed. You cannot have a quotation and say that it's a service request. It doesn't make sense. So in such cases, you would need to have your own basically lead category to be changed. For example, a knowledge article or maybe a lead or an opportunity based on that. Okay, so this source in a new window, if you click on this checkbox, basically what would happen is your parent item would remain in the same screen and your child item would open in a new screen. So this checkbox can be, let me do one thing. Let me click on this checkbox so that we can see. Yes or no. So I'll take a moment here. If you have any doubts or queries, please do let me know.
Srini, here you sent me one service material. So this
So
service
your
material
voice is not audible. It's a
is
little low.
audible.
Yeah.
Yeah, here in the transaction, you've shown
Hmm.
that we are adding a service material also.
Yeah.
So is that service material is created with MM01 and that kind of a service material?
Yes. 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 So your service material is created with MM01.
Yes, sir.
So okay, I can show you that material.
Yeah, because it's a dyne or what we can call
Mhm.
it.
So basically, your service material is this one.
It's a standard one. Huh?
Yeah, so this is the standard one. So basically, you can copy and create your own Z service material. So you can see this is the service. Okay. and the item category group here is
Right.
VIS, which is service without delivery.
Yeah, service without delivery.
Yeah,
So,
currently I have used sales item DG
okay.
level because this item categories was not working properly for at the service code level. The recode functionality, if you were there in the last class, I mean yesterday's class, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
not showing recode. Yeah, so I tested few data and I could see that there was an issue with that item category. So I'm not sure why it's happening, but ideally it should work. So basically, this recode option should come, like
Yeah.
you know, uh, once your quotation is completed, then ideally you should have that recode option coming up. So basically, right now, let me open this. See if this is completed.
So why we are adding that service item into this line item? This
So we are dealing here with services. One thing we have to keep in mind is services are intangible in nature, right? Which means you cannot see it. It's not a physical product. So you cannot get a delivery out of it directly. So in services, especially if we want to create a delivery, we have to add it as a sales item and then create a delivery out of it. So this, whatever you do, for example, cleaning, repairing, oiling, greasing, heat treatment, these are all services which you provide, right? There is no actual delivery which you create for heat treatment, right? It's a service which you do. So here you would have your services. Now, for these services are provided against which equipment or physical object that is being set at this level. Okay, since this is a sales item, I cannot show it to you. Let me do one thing. I'll tell you what the difference is between the service and this. So whatever services you perform are added at your main screen here and at this screen. Why it is coming this way? At this screen, right? So I will have my service ID here. Basically, the service material, and inside my service material, we have something called external reference. Basically, the reference object. So here we have the actual product which we would need to if I add one product here, you can see this is the main product with the serial number. So I will provide my services on this. Now to create a delivery for this one, we would need to integrate this this portion with something called IHR. So what happens is in your IHR you create your return order, you take that object which has been sent by the customer, you keep it in your own inventory as a non-valuated stock, as a customer order, basically sales order type E. Your stock category would be E. You perform your repair. So for that you would create quotation, you would create order, create maintenance order, you would do some actions on it, perform it, close your order, you will bill it, and while for sending you would use your same AIM, just advanced returns management order, to send that object out through IHR. That again is a whole cycle that is also part of this course. We'll go through that IHR cycle in the later classes. But as such, your first screen, which is at this level, right? This will always have a service product.
What is the IHR?
That is in-house repair. So yeah, so basically in-house repair is your integration layer between your sales SD, or basically your logistics, to your services. So that will discuss more on that, because that's a lengthy topic, and I have to show you the flow, how you can create your IHR, how you can create your repair quotation, repair order, how once that order is completed, how you can create a delivery of product, how you can build it. So that process is there. But before that, there are other topics such as this service quotation, service order, then creation of maintenance order from a service
the product ID which you are showing as the standard service product,
This
what are the what are the list of service reference materials available in service?
so your SM underscore prod 01, 02 and 03 are three products which are available. You generally what we do is we take SM0, SM underscore prod 01, we copy it and we create our own Z service product. So whatever activity, for example, I want to perform some repairs, so I will copy this SM underscore prod 01, name that material according to my requirement. So that service product, what it will do is it will hold my cost as well as my revenue. So here onwards, you might have heard about many things about item-based accounting. So basically, what happens is in service, when we talk about item-based accounting, so if that accounting, if you activate your item-based accounting, then your service order becomes your both cost and revenue holding object. If you switch off your item-based accounting, then what would happen is an internal order would be generated, and based on that internal order, you have to transfer your cost or basically post your cost. So in that way, your cost should be captured at your internal order level, but your revenue would be at your service order level. So that's the difference between switching on and off the item-based accounting. At one point of time, you can only have either it's on or off. There is a config. We'll go to that. That's second level of discussion. But for now, focus on the transactional data and how these data are being appearing on the screen. We'll talk about it more from the costing and the revenue point of view also, how it has been integrated to finance, because we have a session on credit management also, where I'll show you how this is integrated with the credit management. And the credit management which we are talking about is the new credit management, right? Not that old credit management. This is more related to FSCM. So in S4 going forward, there is no BKM3, BKM4 transaction code through which we release it. There is a specific again Fiori app through which you would release the we'll talk more about it. I know I'm just trying to go through what we have at this training content. I know I was just looking at it and I could see that there are this needs to be restructured a bit. I'll change this and I'll add what we have discussed right now. This is not, I feel this is not right because it's interaction center and this using this is not required. I mean, as such, we don't use interaction center much, so it's not of any use. I think what we are missing is what we have discussed on the intercompany and other processes. So I'll add that and I'll ask Naveen to share this updated PPT. Was just looking, going through this, and I noticed that this needs to be updated. It's not right.
Thanks, Srini. That is a good catch. Yeah, thank you.
So now let me just cancel this one. So I'll go to the GUI screen again. So now let's assume that you are dealing with a client and you are implementing, service management. So for sure you would need to explain them what's the flow. So from transaction point of view, always remember that your service request would come first, followed by your service code, and then followed by your service order. From service order, there are two routes which you can take. Either you can generate a maintenance order or you can do a service confirmation. So what's the difference between generating a maintenance order and what is the difference between the service confirmation is? If you have a PM background, basically a plant maintenance background, then and if you have PM consultants, it is always better to take your maintenance order route. Why? Because your maintenance order has n number of functionalities as compared to your service confirmation path. The service confirmation path is kind of a lean process. So let's say if you don't have any PM consultants, then the service management people will take the service confirmation route. All the cost booking and material consumption would be done through your service confirmation. So let's take or compare this with the business scenario, right? Now let's say you're working in a steel industry, right? So at the steel industry level, you have too many number of equipments, n number of equipments which you need to handle, and the process is very complex. You have n number of technicians who are working, and each technician would be, reporting to some lead, and that lead would be reporting to some manager. So in such kind of scenarios, it is always better to go with the maintenance order process. So what happens is from your service order itself, you will create a maintenance order. So once you create a maintenance order, then it's up to the PM consultants to take that maintenance order, execute it, post the time booking, post the material consumption, complete the maintenance order technically, which is called TECO. And once that's technically completed, then the service order is completed. Automatically, whatever cost which you are booking on your maintenance order would be reflected on your service order level as well. And once you bill your service order, then your revenue and cost will be settled together. This is the cyclic flow. We'll go through this systematically, how it works, and we'll also see what's the backend configuration for this one. So having talked about that, now since we have this transactional data ready with us, I will show it to you, but I was just going through these fields. So let me quickly cover these fields and then we'll see in the Fury app how it looks. Then this tab is for the product determination. So product determination, although they have given this field or basically this tab, ideally it doesn't do much from a service management point of view. This is more working fine from a Brim perspective. So Brim is another solution which is being developed by SAP, which Brim stands for Billing Revenue Innovation Management. It consists of basically four parts: subscription order management, uh, then something called I think it is component charging or something, consumption charging, I'm not sure, which is called CC. Then we have convergent invoicing CI, and then we have FICA. That is Brim. So, but then Brim, especially the subscription order management SOM, shares the same application layer as service management. That's the reason this product determination works more on your subscription order management (SOM) compared to our service quote or service order. But since they have this feature for available for SOM, I feel that in future they may expand it to our zone also. It depends how the product development goes. But GTN stands for Global Trade Identification Number. So again, if you have a particular object for which you know your GTIN, so you can directly enter that. Similarly, enter partner product is nothing but the product which has been sent by the customer to you. So you can enter it there. Product description or ID search, if you click on this checkbox. Ideally speaking, we never touch this, and even though I have tested it, it doesn't work much on your quotation or order level. But just for information purpose, you can search your product or description if you click on that. So it helps you to identify what product you are trying to enter. The last one, which is a bundle explosion. So this is more kind of a bomb explosion which we have on the sales side. So this would mean like you have a higher level and a lower level. So let's say think of it as we call it as a service bomb. You can also call it as bundle. It's okay, service bundles. So what it means is, well, you might have noticed when you're trying to recharge your mobile, right? Mobile services. So you may see that if you do one for one particular amount, you are getting these many services, right? So that's a kind of a bundle which we have, which is also called as product bundle or service bundle. So this works more efficiently in a telecommunication industry and mostly on the SOM side. But this they are planning to bring on the service side also. That's what I heard. But right now I have not seen it yet. So I'm a little skeptical how this would work on the service side. But idea is that if you have your higher level item and a lower level item, if you put your higher level item, it should bring the lower level item. Whether you want to control that or not is controlled by this action button, that bundle explosion. Similarly, on the profiles tab, this is for your text determination procedure. So this controls how your text or what kind of text you want to have. Similarly, the partner determination procedure which we talked yesterday, it controls what kind of partner you want to show it up your screen. The status profile, again, if you have a Z status profile which you want to be created, for example, if I go at your service order quotation level, we have status here as open. You want some Z status, so you would need to create a profile for that and assign it at this level. Similarly, for the org data profile, the one which we had created for the organization data, again, we can create org data profile and assign it here. The partner function org, it means from where you want your org data to be determined. If this is set to sold to party, which means whatever data I have at the sold to party level, keeping that data, taking that data, my organization details would be fetched. This is again a date profile. You can have your own date profile, it's fine. This action profile is something which controls your actions on your service code level. So this, recode and whatever kind of actions which is sent to customer next step are controlled through this action profile. So it could be that recode is not basically functioning because of few missing action profile. I would need to check on that. but this controls your actions on your service quotation. And then we have your object reference profile. Uh, I have not used this, so
Srini, one second.
yeah.
So when we talk about the text determination, all the profiles, are they applicable only at the header level or at the item level as well?
Yeah, this is applicable only at the header level since we are talking about the transaction types. So your transaction types are basically nothing but document types. So your document type is at the header level. Similarly, these functions are also available at the item level also. All these fields whichever fields I'm showing you here, right?
Mhm.
These are also available at your item level.
Okay.
Same fields. So at the item level, again, you would need to assign a profile. At that point of time, you can determine whether you want the same procedure to be assigned or basically you want it to be in a different way. So that again is controlled at your item level, and same fields are also available. So you have two options: either you follow your header level or you follow your item level. Is it fine?
Sounds good. Thanks, Srini.
Yeah. I was at this object reference profile. So uh, I till date I have not used this, so but as I can see here, this is mostly used how you want to relate your one document to the other document. So if you have some time, just test this one out. Then we have this rejection profile. So basically, let's say when you have a document created, you want certain rejections to be automatically added. So this controls that. Then this is the number range for your document type. So again, this is assigned to a number range object. And then we currently it is assigned to an internal number range. So this 01 would indicate what would be the next line item. So if at the quotation level, if I go and try to add one item, it should increase by one. Okay. Okay, this is at the header, so it won't work. Similarly, this item numbering and sub-item numbering. This again, the sub-item concept. This is from a hierarchy point of view. You could have a main item and you can have a sub-item. So this is kind of a bomb which I was talking about here at your service bundle. So now if I go to the business transactions, so this again has three layers: your sales, your service, and your business activity. So if I quickly open this for the sales, you have your these details coming up. So basically, let's say if you want your quotation to go for a credit check, you can check boxes credit check. This check PO number, what it does is, let's say at one quotation you have added, you know, one number and you have processed it, and then if you're trying to add the same PO number in a different document, it will keep a check whether the PO number is same or not. Similarly, this propose order date, this is for your date duplication, and this duplicate check active controls whether the same data which is in processed in one service code, is it being processed in the same service code, I mean in a different service code with the same data or not. Again, this text type. So this text type is again used for what kind of text type you want at your header. Is it a header note or a final note? And then this is your integration with your GTS. So if you want your quotation to go for a GTS check, then you click on this GTS elements. Although it is still under work, still under progress, because full integration with GTS is something which is still, I think it is still under work as of now. And then this pricing data. So if you talk about service and if you talk about pricing, the pricing process remains the same what we have for sales. basically the condition technique, which we say. When I say condition technique, I mean creation of a condition table, assigning that condition table to your access sequence, and then taking that access sequence and assigning it to a condition type, and then taking that condition type and assigning to your pricing procedure. That activity remains the same for your service also. So what we generally do is whatever pricing that has been decided on the sales side, we extend it to the service side. Your pricing procedure is determined by a combination of few documents. So basically your sales area, which is nothing but a sales of distribution channel and division, then your customer pricing procedure and your document pricing procedure. This is the combination which is used for your pricing process. So in the transaction OBKK, we maintain the pricing procedure determination. In that, one of the field is document pricing procedure. So here we control how this pricing should work, whether I want to have a different pricing procedure, because this will drive my pricing process. And this generally what we do is we create this document pricing procedure and we assign it to basically give it to the sales team, and they do the maintenance for the pricing procedure on behalf of us. So you have to sit with your sales team to see what pricing procedure they are using and how it is being done. This condition type, let's say you want to have a default condition type for your document type, then you can assign that condition type here. This payment type and this check group is mostly from your card payment point of view. So this is not that useful. I mean, I have not used it, and frankly, in my implementations, I've never seen this requirement for payment data. So this was for the sales. Yeah. Someone had any query?
Yeah, so the GTS which you talked about, can you just
Mm-hmm.
quickly walk through the feature about the GTS? What does it do?
So basically, let's say if you want to have your SPL or an embargo check at your quotation level, then you would need to click on this GTS relevance. This document would be then relevant for a GTS check. So it would go and check who is my sole to party, whether that embargo or licensing check is there or not. And accordingly, an error would throw up. Then you have to release that document in your GTS system. This is how it should supposed to basically, but I have not seen it used in my previous implementations. Although there's a scope, as I was saying, this is an evolving product, so maybe in the future they will bring more features on this one. But as I can see, this if you click on checkbox for this one, theoretically speaking, this should go for a GTS check. So it will check for your sanction party list or an embargo check, and maybe the license check, and based on that it will block the document. The functionality is that. Make sense?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, once once we know that this check has to be used, do
Mhm.
we need to verify if any other prerequisites are to be met? And are there any prerequisites behind this GTS check?
So basically you would need to sit with the GTS consultant. Let me see if I can open that. I think basically now GTS works for service also. I had once deactivated that because it was throwing some error, but not at quotation level. This would come under product compliance deletion. No, sorry, it will come under governance, risk and compliance, international trade. You have legal control license. There was one for document type general settings. Application. So this is for GTS, huh? It's not related to us, but I'm just trying to see because at one level you would need to have your control settings for your barcode license type. This is for watch list. This is not ours. Okay, but in theory, you would need to sit with your GTS consultant and you would need to give your document type for which you want your GTS check to happen. They would configure it on your behalf, but you would need to activate this checkbox. Then only it will work. Somewhere at this point, at this node, they maintain for what document type should this trigger. Preliminary document types. Could it be this one? It's not here also, I guess. Okay, this is more from GTS point of view. It's okay. This is not something which should even be touching actually. I thought there was one path where we actually see what kind of document is relevant and we have to assign that config here also. But that would be done by your GTS consultant, so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay. So just that we have to provide the document type and they will maintain the GTS.
Correct, correct. And you have to maintain this check GTS relevance.
Okay.
So now coming back to this one.
Document type means which one? Srini?
Sorry.
Document type, what you said, we have to, which document type you are telling about?
This document type, ZSR2 transaction type. So okay. So don't get confused with document type and transaction type. Both are same in service management. So if I say document type, I'm talking about the transaction type here, which is ESR.
Okay. Okay, means CRM concept has added over here.
Yeah, right.
So
Right.
the transaction type is nothing but a
Document type, right. Yeah, as I said in my beginning of the few classes, this is nothing new. So whatever was there at the CRM level, they have copy pasted few here and there and added few more functionalities. That's it. It's not a product which they have developed from the scratch.
So here you told us service quotation. How we are assigning the service quotation to service order?
Sorry,
When service here we discussed about the quotation. Okay.
we are not fully discussed about the quotation because there are other fields. For example, these types of fields are also there.
Some
So
part we
once
had.
once I discuss on this, then we will also discuss how service orders created from the quotation because for that you will need to maintain the copy control.
Yes.
So as I was saying here, we have three categories which are being assigned: 115 for sales, 116 for service quotation and order, and 1126 for business activity. For sales, we just discussed. For service quotation and order, these kind of feed would be there: your subject profile type, transaction type of confirmation, questionnaire, SLA determination procedure, and the warranty check. So this subject profile we generally don't touch. So basically our main thing is the transaction type confirmation. So if you have a service confirmation, so and you can control what kind of confirmation type it should lead to. So here if you see, these are the confirmation type. Basically, the document type here is standard is RPEC. But let's say if I want this document type to be acting as a confirmation document, then I can select this one. This questionnaire is nothing but if it's a knowledge-based article or basically a lead article, and what kind of questionnaires it should have, it's concerned by that. Then this SLA profile determination procedure is, let's say if you're working in an industry where you want to calculate your turnaround time based on your acceptance date and your completion date. So for such, your SLA date profile procedure plays an important role. So here you assign your SLA date profile, and based on this date profile, your dates would be determined. The last is the warranty check. So in the warranty check, what happens? Whatever kind of warranty is there, you would need to assign that warranty check profile here. And based on this check profile, it will check whether that equipment which, or basically this document which is there is relevant for warranty or not. These are the fields which is there. So let me go to the last, which is the business activity. So this is by standard field every time you create one document type, and we don't touch this until unless, let's say, you want to send this document to via an email or a, if it's a different document type, then we choose this checkbox for email. So this was description for your transaction type. If I try to create one data, let's see.
Srini, one doubt I have. So just now, in the assignment section of sales, right? There is a document pricing procedure field. So that
Mhm.
field, and if you're talking about sales, then why there is service order assigned to that?
No, that's a document procedure type, na? This one.
Yeah,
This is
but
not.
in
It's not.
So sorry, I mean this assignment under sales means like if this quotation if they are using for creating a sales order
So you
instead
are
of service order,
saying
right?
you are saying
That
that
can,
no, no, your pricing procedure is controlled by this. This is a document pricing procedure. If you have a question like if this is a quotation, why is it service order as S1? This is just the standard values which are there. You can always create your own Z document pricing procedure and assign.
that is fine. My question is, can you go back one step? So here, so there are three assignments, right? Sales, service order quotation, and business activity. So what is this? I mean, sales, it means like it is referring to sales process, like creating sales order with reference to quotation, or is it
You cannot
something?
create no, no, you cannot create a sales order through a quotation. But what this generally 115 sales is, this is common for even for service order also. So if you want to have your pricing determined, if you want to have your that GTS check determined, so those details are captured at this level at your transaction category 2115. So this has nothing to do with generation of sales order. Your sales order is controlled at the item category level, not at this level.
Okay, okay, fine. As item category plays
Yeah.
important. Okay.
And I got a point. I got a point. You got confused since this is sales. You were thinking, can we generate a sales order from quotation? So that is not
Yeah.
possible. Basically, for that, you can generate a sales order from a service order, but that has nothing to do with the document type. That is controlled at an item category level. So how an line item should behave is always controlled at the item level. Your document at your header level will control some functionalities. For example, what kind of check it should be, whether it should go for a credit check or not, whether it should go for a GTS check or not. So those kind of functionalities are controlled at your header level. At your item level, it controls how my item should behave. Should it create a service confirmation? Should it create a maintenance order? Should it create a sales order? Should it create a purchase order? So that is controlled at your item level. So
Okay.
that's the difference between the header and the item in service. So let us try to create one new data with the one which we have just created. Oh, okay. Since we are already past the time, we'll spend just 5 more minutes. I hope everyone has got the system access by now, right?
Mm. I got Srini just today.
Yeah. Uh,
But
uh,
I'm unable to access this query. Just I'm checking it. There is error reflecting.
so if you want to access Fury, I can ping you the T code in the chat.
That it is same, no? UI2 and F. And
Yeah. Okay. This is if
UI,
yeah, if you have this one, then definitely you will get this.
but
But
there
if
is
you
a
don't have this, let's say if you don't have this one, I hope you know the T code for Fury slash m slash UI2 slash FLP. This one.
but this query log 3 is not getting connected. I don't know why it is. I will check it.
Okay. So okay, I'm not seeing ours coming up here. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. We'll try to see why it is not coming. Tomorrow we'll create one data with our Z document type. We'll stop today here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.